and hanging out at Raiders training camp with Tre Tucker and Tre, 2 days in the books now. And I'm kind of curious, like, from a player's perspective, when do you start to feel body-wise, like, all right, like, we're back, we're doing this thing for real?
I would say usually after the first 3 days. We come back a day earlier and kind of do conditioning tests and kind of get your legs going. But usually most guys, you've been doing stuff, throughout the 4 or 5 weeks you've been. But, there's nothing like competing, with NFL guys. That takes it out of you. So usually after the first 3 days, you're kind of like, okay, let's roll. And that's kind of why it is the way it is for the first 3 days.
And then first 3 days, a few days off to kind of get the body back, and then off we go again. But such a unique camp this year. Obviously, we're sitting here in Costa Mesa. We're not at the facility in Henderson. But kind of just from your perspective, like, what's the value in being away, right? AP talked about kind of being sequestered away from friends, from family, focused entirely on football. Like, what's the benefit for you guys in doing that?
I would say the main thing is team bonding. I can already see it. We've been here a few days, and you just get closer to guys that you might not have talked to as much, during OTAs. You're cool with everybody because you spend a lot of time here in the facility, but I think that's the main thing, just team bonding, because, the closest teams are the best ones. I know my team was like that in college. We went away for weeks, and it was always funny coming back how close everybody would be. It's like, the new freshmen, the new rookies come in, you don't know them as much, but by the time camp's over, that might be one of your best friends. So I think that's the main.
Is it something as simple as being able to, like, spend time together in the meal room? Or, like, I know we're still so early into camp and everyone's still kind of getting their footing, but, like, what does that downtime, that team bonding look like for you guys?
Yeah, I think, it kind of, like you just said, it forces you to, get to know somebody, because if we're back in, Vegas, we were able to just, you're done, you can go home, you could, do whatever, because most guys live obviously around. So instead of that, we spend time with our teammates, and I think that's the main thing. And like you said, like, we get done with practice throughout the day, you go back to the hotel, you don't want to sit alone. So you're down in the meal room playing cards, talking to somebody, going to dinner, and or doing something like that, and you really get close to people that way.
We heard from Aiden and obviously AP at the start of this week, and they both kind of said the same thing about you and kind of where you're at in your journey, right? In your maturation, growth, however you want to call it, your development. And they said, obviously, the physical gifts are there, right? No one's catching you in a 40-yard dash, right? But now it's kind of like fine-tuning and honing in on the catching, the tactical side of the game. Like, when you look at where you are now going into this season, was that something that you cognizantly were like, hey, I want to be better at this going into 2024?
Yeah, for sure. I think, obviously I'm very fortunate to have one of the greatest in my room who happens to be like a big brother to me. So I kind of just, studied him throughout that whole year, and how can a guy in year 10 be able to operate like that and still operate at a high level. And what I took from it is just his preparation into how he breaks down his game, how he's gotten better. And if you look at his story in the beginning of his career, he was ranked like one of the last receivers. Like, I think it was his year too. So the best thing you're able to do from guys like that is learn from the mistakes that they made, but also the ones that you did. And looking at my whole rookie year, there was obviously some things that I could clean up, and that's what I attacked the whole offseason. And just because, I had a good OTA session, good offseason, good camp, that doesn't really mean anything. It has to be a consistent basis. So that's what I challenge myself to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I'm going to feel like kind of like a silly question now, but, like, do you feel like you're better prepared today to go through an NFL season than you were, say, 12 months ago?
1,000%. I mean, just like when I walk out here on the field, and I've always been I would like to say, mature guy, and, and understanding what I have going on, what I'm doing. But, like, this year, it's just like, it feels like it's year 4, year 5 for me. But obviously, every day something new. But I kind of know what to expect and know all that thing. And I think it comes with anything of how much preparation you put into it. That's how confident you feel going out there. So
you talk about just feeling more comfortable. Like, what's the biggest difference in terms of that preparation for you now as we sit here in late July as opposed to a year ago?
I think, man, just understanding the IQ of the defensive backs and IQ of defense in the whole. You see Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby's chasing down things, flying around. He's batting balls down, like, just those little things, and you see it week in and week out. And when you kind of understand that, it allows you to play faster because you know what the defense is going to do. You know who's out there. You know what they're good at, what they're not good at. And then just, I would just say repetition. It's like anything. If you want to get stronger, what do people do? They lift more weight. So same thing with football. You want to get better, you do more of this, do more of that. And that's kind of the approach that I've been taking.
You talk about the benefit, too, of going against a really, really good defense every single day, right? And when Pat Graham's got going on that side of the football, like, I know, again, still so kind of early in camp, Pats haven't come on and all that, but, like, what have your impressions been of that side of the football through a couple days?
Energetic. very energetic. I mean, obviously, the addition of Christian Wilkins, you feel that. You know, him and Maxx, that's going to be insane. Maxx and Malcolm and those guys, it's going to be insane. But I would just say those guys have a very high confidence level because I feel like, you know, obviously what they're doing, they did last year. You know, they added a few pieces here, but they're able to kind of carry over some momentum that they took into going at the end of the season, and you can feel it out here. They walk around with swagger, and that's what we need.
You know, you talk about feeling a guy like Christian Wilkins. Like, how does a wide receiver, right? How does your group feel the addition of an interior lineman?
I would say when you catch a screen.
Yeah.
Catch a screen or something like that, you'll hear and you turn around, or you know, you maybe look on film or look and see who it was. It was one of those guys because they're running, they're chasing the ball, and that's kind of what AP preaches, you know, run to the ball and that kind of thing. But you feel it. Catch a screen and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, AP has talked, you know, from the jump about competition across the board, right? 1 to 90, everyone pushing each other, getting better, and certainly kind of from your perspective, a unique competition this year with the quarterbacks, right? And you know, I'm not here to ask you, hey, who's going to be the guy day one or anything like that, but like, what have your kind of early takeaways been from Gardner and Aiden out there doing their thing?
I would say, you know, I love how, you know, Aiden's forming into a leader. You know, he's more vocal. I think that's the best thing for him because, you know, we know he's got the talent, the skills, and you know, but being able to grasp the whole offense and kind of, you know, take us under his wing and, you know, kind of command the offense, that's very cool to see. And I'm proud of him because, you know, like, we were rookies coming in together. You know, we'll both laugh. And remember, we were on field too because we do two-spot, and we were over there just trying to learn the playbook, trying to learn how the NFL works. And then Gardner, man, he's just a savvy vet. You know, he's sending me clips all the time of this thing, and his mind's always working. So I love that. And just a freelance guy, I love him. You know, he's just, I would say he's spunky. Like, he's, you know, like, you see him with the wavy hair, man, that's just who he is. And it's cool to have a guy like that out there because, you know, he's just like if nothing else goes, just let it fly guy, you know what I mean? And I love that about him, and that's just kind of who he is.
You know, isn't it wild that you talk about those conversations you had with Aiden a year ago on field too, that the way the season would go, that both of you guys would be asked to contribute in such a major way. You know, candidly, probably a little bit more for Aiden, who starts the season as, you know, essentially the third guy. But like, it's got to be wild to think, man, what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, if you 100%. That's like a day-to-day thing, man. It's like each day is something new, and like you're right. Like you look back from a year ago, and around this time we were on field 2 together. Now, you know, we're both out there together. You know, starting practice or whatever it may be, and it's just surreal. But like in this level, that's kind of what you expect. Things move fast, and when they come your way, you got to be able to execute at a very high level. So.
Last one before I get you out of here. Maxx Crosby chirping already? Is he chirping at the offense?
That's who he is. That's who he is, man. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter what position you are, and that's what I love about him. It's not just the O-line. Like I'll see someone, like one of us catch a ball, and he's like, no, that's a tackle for loss, or no, I'm like, you're over there. You know what I mean? But that's one of you know, I would say my OGs. You know, I spent a lot of time with him in the off season, and that's what I love about him. That's just who he is. No matter what position you are, quarterback, receiver, running back, you know, you'll hear it.
I appreciate you, man, and it makes me feel old saying that Maxx is an OG, because I look at Maxx, we were together in Oakland, I'm like, it's so wild for me to think, you know, Maxx comes in as this skinny dude from Eastern Michigan, just completely, I mean, you've all seen the pictures from him as a rookie, and now he's OG status, makes me feel really old, but I appreciate you hanging out, man. Best of luck the rest of the way, stay healthy, and I'll bother you soon, all right?
Appreciate you, thank you, yep.